Hi folks, this is our first video in a set of 3 for week 2, where we will be focusing on research methods and culture. In this video, we will be going over the assignments for this week. So this week we have a lecture quiz, which I'm hoping that you already have open. If not, go ahead and open it now and then pause and then come back to the video. You also have a response journal, which is due on Saturday at 11:59 p.m. And you have a discussion board. Part 1 of the discussion board is due on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. and Part 2 is due on Saturday at 11:59 p.m. I want to remind you that Canvas does not alert you to Part 1's due date, which is on Thursday, and starting this week I will be deducting points for late Thursday posts. So be sure you get those in on time. I wanted to take a moment to talk about how you can do better on discussion assignments. The class as a whole did really well on the discussion last week, so our first discussion of the course, but I wanted to give you a few tips on how you could do even better, and this is actually our first lecture quiz question. So be sure you have that out so you can answer it now. So one way that you can do better on discussion assignments is to pay close attention to all of the instructions on the assignment. Most people who didn't get 100% didn't follow all of the instructions. So I usually give a lot of instructions. So be sure that you look through the instructions carefully and answer all questions given and respond to all instructions. Secondly, listen to the lecture first before writing your main post. Usually I talk about the topics that are upcoming on a discussion board in the lecture, so be sure that you listen to the lecture first. It should help you to understand the topics in the discussion board a little bit better. And then lastly, think of yourself as a sociologist as you are writing your post. You know, put yourself into the shoes of a sociologist as you're writing the post and ask yourself, how would a sociologist write about this topic? Not necessarily how do I feel about this topic, but how would a sociologist write about this topic? So those are 3 ways that you can improve your discussion board posts for next time. And so the answer to the first quiz question is all of the above, because I answered, because all of the suggestions were mentioned in the quiz. Okay, so the the response journal assignment this week is about culture and about how foods in our culture differ according to our cultural backgrounds. So you're going to ask to think of the last time that you ate a traditional holiday meal. And this could be any holiday. It could be Thanksgiving. It could be Christmas. It could be 4th of July. It could be, in my case, I'm Jewish, so it could be Passover or it could be Hanukkah. There are many holidays out there. Many of you are from diverse cultures, and so it's great to talk about those. And describe the holiday, and then make a list of all the foods on the menu. Now, the second part is the most important, and I will be doing a lot of my grading on the second part. This instruction asks you, why do you think these particular food items were chosen for this holiday, and do they have any particular cultural significance? If you don't know If it has cultural significance, do a little bit of research. Look online, check out those foods. Why were they chosen for this particular holiday? Or you could do some family research and ask your parents or ask your grandparents, why do we have these foods during the holiday? And then write down what you find in your response. Okay, and then your other assignment this week is a discussion board. As I said before, part one is due on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. This is again about culture, and we will be looking at culture shock. Culture shock is when you enter a new culture of some sort and it feels really different for you. This could be anything from starting in a new school, like when you went to high school for the first time, to traveling to a foreign country or a different part of our country that's has different norms than our own. Um, and think about it. Think about what seemed different to you. What kind of culture shock did you experience? It's very important to remember to discuss ethnocentrism and cultural relativism, which I will be discussing later on in the lecture. So that's part one. You write about that in your main post. And then part two, which is due on Saturday, you will be answering two of your discussion group members' posts and compare your experience with culture shock to their experience of culture shock. How was yours the same? How was yours different? Okay, and so that is the end of our first video where I only answered one quiz question so far, and so I will be answering the others in the upcoming two videos.